Welcome to the Oh Brother Podcast. I'm your host, Dan Smith. Alongside me, as always, my brother from the same mother, Mike Smith.
How's it going, Dan?
Good, man. We're back again.
I'm getting close. I'm not quite as dwarfy.
Yeah, I've made some adjustments on my end too. Hopefully that helps you out. But
you got shorter?
Yeah, no, just lowering the chair.
Okay.
So November 12th, we're coming back to you with a review this time of the 25th installment in the Bond series and Daniel Craig's fifth and final performance as MI6, right? Or the MI6 agent, I should say, 007. And so, November 12th now, you know, this episode is delayed, much like the film was delayed.
Hey, they delayed us for a year and a half. We can delay them.
We can delay you for a week and a half, right?
That's right.
So do you want to speak to that a little bit? Because yesterday we were talking a little bit about that blog that you put out previously, and Emily can reference that blog right here.
Yeah.
Somewhere. Where is it again? I don't know which way we go.
It's between both of them.
But actually, before we get into that, because I know she's going to do this, is, you know, for those of you not currently following us, make sure that you do. And the easiest way to find all things Oh Brothers to go out to our official website, which is OHB as in brother, podcast.com. That's ohbpodcast.com. And you can get access to all things Oh Brother out there. You can get access to our social media, our YouTube channel. You can subscribe there and like our videos. We definitely appreciate your support there. And I want to say that, you know, we're coming off the heels. Well, it's interesting because Denny Villanueva, who directed Dune, our previous episode, you know, he was one of the ones tapped to potentially direct this Bond film.
Oh.
So I thought that was an interesting connection to the last episode. And then we, you know, coming off of that, we had our wrapped up our Halloween Fest season with the Halloween Kills review. And we also put out a highlight reel of all of our past, you know, Halloween/horror films. And one of the things we've got coming up, we're going to put out there is Emily's going to be working hard on an interview highlight reel. So we're going to cut together a highlight reel of all the interviews that we've done thus far on the Oh Brother podcast. So that'll be exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing that. So a big shout out to our production assistant, Emily Viadero.
She's doing really good, man.
She's bringing the goods, man.
Yeah, like last episode, Dune, just watching it, it was all her. I mean, the way she lined up the characters from
that was great. That was great.
It was just good stuff. And she found Dorf. I knew she would. Yeah.
Emily, give yourself a shout out here somewhere on the screen and throw her Instagram handle out there. But yeah, she's doing a fantastic job for us. So we're excited about that. So, all right. So go back, because I was thinking about her too here, because talk a little bit about sort of how we got here, reference the blog if you want. She can even put a little, you know, snapshot of that previous blog about Bond up there too.
Yeah, this was supposed to come out way before we even knew there was most of us didn't know anything about the pandemic, didn't know it was coming. There was a couple of people that might have known at the top. But anyways, Daniel Craig's doing SNL. And, you know, because he's, you know, anybody who's got a movie coming up, that's where they go. And it was that weekend, the world just shut down.
And interestingly, he just made a little cameo on SNL.
He did
a week or so ago.
Rami Malek,
right?
Because they had to get another Bond person. So Bond just went in, you know, to delay mode, and MGM kept giving us release dates, which was stupid. They should have just said, "We'll let you know," which they eventually did.
There was at least 3 of them, I think.
Yeah, they kept, okay, Bond coming this.
Well, and it was
coming this.
It was originally delayed because the original writers, the writer and director or something, they split over creative differences, quote unquote. And that was originally what delayed the production. And then, of course, you know, the COVID, like you're talking about.
But it got on track for the release. And then, so while this was going on, I wrote a blog and I called it, I think, No Time to Die. Oh, is it finally time for Bond to die? When they announced this release, which was what, the 8th?
Yeah, October 8th. Yeah,
October 8th.
in the US.
So ironically, if you've seen the movie, and I'm not going to give a spoiler away, that title takes on new meaning now. Completely, what I meant was, hey, it's finally time to get Bond in the theater.
Right.
But it's now people who have seen it will look at that title and say, hey, you spoil it. Stop that.
Okay.
But
thanks. Emily, putting Emily hard to work there. Censors? Get the censors.
I don't know. But so anyways, you want me to like give you the recap
of
Bond?
Bond or the entire Bond universe?
Well, I'm just Daniel Craig, because they're all related.
Really. Not
They're
really.
all related.
No,
I'm not going to go through each film.
No, just get us from Spectre to here. That's all you got to need. That's all you got.
Well,
I don't need you to go back to Casino Royale and
they're all connected.
I don't care. I don't think the listeners care.
No, all I was going to say.
I can see you must have been working on this for weeks, because it sounds like you're like, oh, please, I've got this documented. I need to read this essay.
No, I have nothing. All I was going to say was, there was a lot of breakthroughs with Daniel Craig. Casino Royale was establishing Bond, like that's the first time we had a background to Bond. So that was one of the best, one of the two best. And the other one, my favorite Bond, as you know,
with Craig.
My favorite two Bond movies.
Well, I'm always going to say GoldenEye.
Correct.
Right. It's GoldenEye with Pierce Brosnan.
Correct.
Yeah. Because the little move with maybe Emily can track that down, where he kind of adjusts the tie when he's sticking out of the tank.
Underwater.
Yeah, no, when he's out in the tank.
In the tank is, just a tank chase. Come on.
But the opening of GoldenEye. But
the opening of, it brought back Bond.
Mm-hmm.
So ironically, Martin Campbell directed
Timothy Dalton,
GoldenEye.
not getting his due respect. But go ahead.
I'm sorry, Tim, but sorry. But, for me, Pierce is my all-time favorite Bond. And then
strap in, folks. There will be a brief intermission.
I'm trying to get to Eternal's time here.
Right.
So Daniel Craig comes on. Great. Martin Campbell directs both. Pierce is first and Daniel Craig's first.
Right.
And they're the two best Bond films. So anyways, after we had Casino Royale, we went into Skyfall. No. Right? Yeah, no, Quantum of Solace, which is better left forgotten. Then we get this another first, that there's going to be a sequel to Bond. So we get Skyfall, and then Spectre is going to be a sequel. Never been done before. I mean, this is the 26th film,
25th,
something like that, 25th.
Mm-hmm.
So if you watch from Casino Royale to No Time to Die, there are threads through it, which has never happened before, other than like in the old days, Jaws. They brought him back a few times.
Blofeld.
Blofeld, the villain, which ironically comes into play here.
Well, and Vesper Lynd, right? Vesper Lynd was actually played by, parodied by Ursula Andress, right? Back in.
Yeah, I think that was the joke. Casino Royale, wasn't it?
Is that what it was? Okay, yeah, that might be right. And
which
then,
isn't even considered really.
Eva Green played her. And,
yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
So anyways, getting to modern time, we ended with Spectre.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of Spectre, Bond is calling it quits, says, I'm done, and rides off into the sunset with a Dr. Madeleine Swan,
mm-hmm.
who he met in the course of the film, as he does every one of these films. But this time, he's given it all up for her, and they're gone. And
well, he
Daniel,
actually did the same thing for Vesper Lynn.
what do you mean?
In that film? You gave it all up for her. Like he fell in love with her.
Right. But she made that future impossible.
Correct.
He's still in love with her.
Mm-hmm.
That's
right.
As this film begins,
Sure.
even though he's with,
Madeline.
Dr. Swan,
Right.
he's still in love with Vesper.
Right.
So anyway, that thread is really important to this film, and I didn't realize it. I went back and watched Spectre before this.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to have my memory ready in case, and I didn't know this. I figured this was I had heard nothing about this being a sequel, but I knew Christopher Waltz was in it. So I thought,
Christoph Waltz, again, keeping the tradition alive.
Hey,
Christopher
there
Waltz.
should be like a little counter.
Yeah.
Bing, screwed
Emily,
up name.
Seriously. Yeah, go ahead.
And you were just waiting on that. You were waiting on that like a fastball.
It's guaranteed.
You were sitting there like,
it's guaranteed.
Fastball.
Yeah.
So, because I'm going to do it.
Absolutely.
Once.
Yeah.
So this one starts off with Bond retired.
Right.
He's with Madeline Swan. He says something to her like, we've got all the time in the world, I'm done with all that stuff. Because she accuses him of looking over his shoulder for bad guys. And he says, no, I'm not. I'm done.
I'm out of it. Yeah.
We're done. So that's where we start the film. And, I think. And
probably leave it there for the most part,
because I don't want to give out spoil, even though it's been out for a while. I don't want to give out spoilers.
No, I want to say that it's a spoiler-free episode, but is there anything more that you want to say just sort of generally about the plot?
Just that, like any good Godfather film, just when he thought he was out, they pull him back in.
Yeah, and we can talk about things like the action and all the things that you expect from a Bond film. So, sort of dive in if you want to, give our take. Now, one thing that you look forward to, right, for every Bond film is what? Not the one thing, but one of the primary things that you always are waiting on with the release of every new Bond film is what?
That opening. The
opening, right? Yeah. That whatever that song is going to be. And they keep that thing under wraps.
They do.
Like nobody's business, And that was one of the first things that struck me, not, aside from the sequence that takes place just before that song comes on. But this song by Billie Eilish, No Time to Die, is just awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. She's so super talented.
I was singing a few bars before we came on the air.
Yeah, I was glad I was on pause before that. Yeah. What's her name again? Billie Eilish?
No, you're not going to
get me. Yeah,
get the counter going.
Tee it up again. But she's just phenomenal, and I enjoy a lot of her music, anyways. But what a perfect fit for.
They always get the right person at the right time.
They really do.
Paul McCartney, Live and Let Die. I mean, they just
Tina
nail
Turner,
it.
Right? Didn't Tina Turner have one?
I think she did.
Am I thinking of Beyond Thunderdome?
No, I think she did.
She did, right?
Yes.
And she did. Remember Sheena Easton, who I saw in concert.
Yep.
For Your Eyes Only. That was a great
one. Sam Mendes was the director.
Right. And then you're thinking of
Simon, right?
Oh, no. Sam. No. This is terrible. And Emily's going to make fun of us visually here on the episode.
No, bing for Dan.
Well, no. It's both of us. We can't figure out what his name is. Sam Smith.
Yes.
Duh. Sam Smith. How pathetic is that we're related to him and we couldn't figure out the name?
Sorry, Sam. Cut him out.
We love you, Sam.
Ever since we got big with this, we cut him out.
Right. We don't get time for that, slumming with Sam.
Exactly.
But, and then Adele, of course, had a great one as well with Skyfall. So anyway, the point is, that's one of the things at least that I anticipate when I check out the Bond films. And this was no exception. It was awesome.
And with before that, I'm looking for that huge opening action sequence that usually leads into it.
Right.
You know, I think with Casino Royale, he drops into the water, and as he's sinking, the music comes on.
Well, and there's a scene. I mean, you can talk about this. I'd be shocked if there's anybody that hasn't seen this in the trailer at this point. That particular scene that you like, that sequence, that stunt, right, with the dirt bike.
Yeah, I mean, it came in a little late. They were a little slow getting to it, but everyone if you've seen the trailer, if you've turned on a TV, you've seen this.
Yeah.
Because the budget was 100 million when they were advertising this, and then they spent I think another 50. But you know, it's Bond on this bridge, and he's like, there's a guy coming from him at both sides. He grabs some rope that happens to be there.
It's like a cable on the bridge, and then
jumps off.
That was
swings great. Under. Now, next thing you know, he comes up on this motorbike. I mean, give the stuntmen on this thing
and women,
an A.
It was phenomenal.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was phenomenal.
And the women too, because there was a lot of fights.
Yeah, a lot of great
with
lot of
one
great
of the lead characters, and great stuff.
She was great. Yeah, she was great.
Yeah.
So, what's your take on the film? Your initial impressions?
You know,
given the weight.
It's tough because given that Daniel Craig said he'd never come back after the last one, I was really excited when he changed. I mean, he literally said, I'd rather wash my hands with glass than do another Bond film.
Right.
And I was so like, Pierce was supposed to do a fifth Bond, and then they decided to reboot. And he was so disappointed. He loved being Bond. And that's been the case. I mean, Sean Connery had some problems with Chubby Broccoli, if you know who that is, the producer. But everybody's loved being Bond. It's like the ultimate. If you get who's going to fill Daniel Craig's shoes?
Is that Chubby? Is that really it?
Yeah.
So what is Barbara?
It's Cubby. But
Cubby,
Sean used to call him Chubby Broccoli.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you see the name Broccoli. It's his daughter now.
Yeah, carried forward by Barbara. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But he had a lot of nicknames for Broccoli, but he didn't. Right. They didn't get along.
Chopping broccoli.
Yeah. Right. Who was great? The SNL. You just did a little SNL
Carvey,
thing. So
little Dana Carvey.
When they did Bond, remember they did Bond, and I think it was Chris Parnell played Bond.
Oh, I don't remember that.
It was like Bond going to the doctor, and they would show him going for his annual physical.
Oh, really?
Well, I don't know how to tell you this, Mr. Bond, but you have a venereal disease. And every time he goes, it's like, yes, you have, and they're reading off the list of venereal diseases.
Oh,
and
my
then
God.
Eventually, you've got what we're calling James Bond 1. And then eventually it's like James Bond 36.
I'll have to look that up on YouTube.
Yeah,
I never saw it.
It's a really funny
There's a cast member that never got his just due, man.
Yeah,
Chris Parnell,
he was good.
He was so funny.
He was one of those glue players.
He was great, man.
That was one of the funniest.
I don't think he's a guy I don't think ever broke in all the time he was on there.
Yeah,
he was solid.
And he never really got his due. Like big movies that he ever did. And
right.
I don't even know what he's doing now.
He's in the next Bond film.
Yeah, he's the new Bond.
Yeah, he's Blofeld's kid.
So in this, if you go back to Spectre for a minute.
Good job, man. I was really waiting on that Spectra.
I know. I had
you
it
can
ready.
maybe take one of those points away, Emily.
That's right. If you go back to Spectre and you remember, we meet Dr. Swan in the movie, and a lot of people might not remember that because it's been so long since that movie.
Well, that's a first too for her, for the character to appear in
multiple. Yeah,
that was a first.
For him to have an ongoing relationship. But she, they show her, they open this film as her as a little girl,
Right.
and it cuts to current day. From that scene, we don't really know that it's her yet, but you would know if you watched the end of Spectre.
Yeah.
Because that was the story she told Inspector, that she meets this guy, comes to kill her father, and that's the beginning of this movie. So I thought that was really well done.
So what do you think? Is this a fitting conclusion to Craig's appearance as 007?
For
you?
I don't, nothing was going to beat Casino Royale. I think I kept wanting another Casino Royale. That was so good, so well done. I really didn't care for much. I didn't like Quantum, really didn't like Skyfall. And then Spectre was a sequel. And I really, until I rewatched Spectre, now I have new respect for that movie. But nothing could live up to Casino Royale. So given that,
you know what they call Casino Royale in France? Casino Royale with cheese.
With cheese.
Yeah.
Had to throw that in.
Speaking of cheese.
Yeah.
That's a big dose of cheese right there for you.
So I think.
Yeah, I have to go back and watch. I haven't seen
film.
Casino Royale probably since it came out, or since I've owned it on, physical media, which this is one of those sets. I don't think I have every one of them, but I have a pretty good amount, because you've given me a good amount of Bonds.
Because when I got this box set, it had all of them.
Yeah, and I do have quite a few. I have quite a few on digital. Yeah, so you've got behind you every single one, I suppose, right?
I have all of Craig's, and then I've one of the box sets. I also have the 50th anniversary box set, which is really big and clunky.
Yeah.
And then when they came out with this one and it had all the digital,
right,
it was kind of, I think it's under $60. You get 24 films or 23.
Part of this story with this film, with No Time to Die, is Bond, he agrees to sort of come back into the fold and work with MI6. And we got to give it up for Ralph Fiennes as M, who he's so good. I love Judi Dench, but
Mallory,
Fiennes is
isn't
so
it?
good. Mallory, right. And but part of this is him helping to track down this Russian scientist that's been kidnapped, who for me was maybe the worst character in the whole film. I just could not stand this guy for some reason. I told you, the guy whoever played the Russian scientist that got kidnapped in the film, the nerdy, the one that reprogrammed the nanobots. And again, without going too deep into it to give away some stuff.
Right.
Did you see No Time to Die?
Yeah, I'm just totally like, what character are you talking about?
Okay, so think about, wow. So everything I think about is going to give away some big chunk of the film, but he was the Russian scientist that there's a scene with him and Bond in an airplane.
Yeah.
The Russian character he's a scientist. I can't wait to see what Emily does with this.
I'm not sure. Like, why am I just, did I miss
the whole
that character?
Story centers around this ridiculous character. That's the funny thing, that you can't remember it. It's the whole reason Bond comes back into the fold, because he's the one, this Heracles project.
Right.
You did see the film, right?
I did. That's why I'm so confused.
I don't think you got any further than Billie Eilish.
No. I'm confused because I'm thinking of Rami Malek.
Mike's had no time to sleep, so he's a little loopy here. Oh my God. But anyways, I don't know who the actor is, but I just didn't like the character. I told you, it's like there's always this one, remember we were taught, well, no, we didn't talk about it because it wasn't a film, but WandaVision. No, actually in Malignant. Remember the CSI, the female character, the CSI that had the you know,
Oh,
the
right.
huts for
Yes.
there's
Yes.
always one of those
Yeah.
goofy, sort of over the top, kind of nerdy, scientists of some sort.
Right.
And this guy
Right.
was no exception. So he's really the only problem. In fact, I'm not a huge Rami Malek fan. I
Yeah.
did like him in Bohemian Rhapsody. I just thought that was a great performance.
Yeah. I
But,
still haven't seen that.
oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
that I didn't know. You got to check that out.
Yeah.
But I liked him in this. I enjoyed him in this. I thought he did a really good job. Although, wouldn't he have looked older? Wouldn't he have appeared more aged?
Yeah, I'm a little confused by a couple of the things. First off, he's not in the film a lot. It's a
not
short
really.
part for
I
a
guess
Bond villain.
Yeah, when you break it down, sure.
Christopher Waltz did more. Christoph, whatever you call him,
Ding ding.
I don't think that gets a ding because I've
Mm.
always called him Christopher.
Probably a
But,
ding. Oh, I see. You go. You go way back.
We were kids growing up.
Yeah, the Hateful Eight or whatever else. Inglorious Bastards.
But I mean, he was more the villain again than Rami Malek in this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, they set it up, but when you watch the previews, you're not even sure Christoph is in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then he kind of becomes, the big villain again.
What did you think of the length of the film? Like, it's what, 156 minutes or something?
Right. Which
or I don't know, something like that.
Which is getting
that might be Dune, I'm quoting. I don't know, but it's long.
It's long.
Yeah.
And right now people are banging their heads against the wall about Eternals because it's too long.
And the length of this Oh Brother podcast episode.
Yeah. But
yeah. Intermission's coming up.
It's
soon.
shocking because it's done 660 million.
Yes.
And I am more surprised than anyone.
But what is it? 300 plus is the foreign take, right? The international take. Right?
More than that.
Is it more than that? Okay.
Yeah, it's more. It's in the US, it's done about 130.
Oh, okay. All right.
So almost 80%.
Oh.
Is the foreign box office, which is amazing to get it to 660.
Now, what's your take on that?
On
what do you chalk that up to or attribute that to?
Is
it just the state of the theater still here and not as wide? Okay.
I don't. I'm not going to give Disney the out for Eternals, saying, "Oh, well, it's the state of the movies," because it it's maybe going to make 70 million for the weekend. Maybe they're not even sure yet. And Disney is saying it's going to make 75. And most of the analysts are saying 69, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So you never know. They lie about that stuff, but
right.
Eternals, it's too long. They're introducing 10 new Marvel characters.
And
they're pulling a DC.
It's funny because at least as of this recording, I haven't seen the film yet. And that's one of the things that struck me when I saw the first teaser trailer in the theater for this was like, there's too much going on. Yeah. And there's too much going on.
Yeah.
And I really feel like it's going to be so convoluted. I'm not ready for like an entirely new universe of characters yet. It's too much.
It was tough for me to swallow Shang-Chi because it didn't fit quite, and I really tried. They tried to shoehorn that character. They're trying to replenish Avengers that are dead.
That probably remains to be seen. I mean, I think we have to see where they go with that character in the future. But at least in this moment in time, it's standalone.
And we've got to give Eternals. We've got to wait and see it and give it, but that's the buzz is it's too long. People are walking out.
That's not good.
Yeah. This is Kevin Feige's possible first misstep.
Well, I don't know if it was from screenings, I assume, but there were already mixed reviews from the critics before it was released.
Yes.
As one of the the lowest rated Marvel films.
Yeah. Did you look up your Rotten Tomatoes or whatever?
On that? No.
Yeah, because it's really low.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think both with critics and so we'll see it. We'll give it a fair shake.
Yeah.
I've been saying since before the pandemic that Spider-Man is going to be the one film this year to make $1 billion.
Yeah, but let's bring it back around to Bond. So for me, this was a satisfying installment. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a nice way for Craig to sort of cap off his appearances, and it was just pretty solid. I really didn't have a lot of issues with it. The guy, what's the actor's name from Westworld, the African American guy that was in this, that played Leiter,
that plays Felix Leiter?
Yeah, the CIA
Jeffrey Wright.
He's
I think
great.
His name is.
He's great. Yeah,
And
he's part in this, but
he's been with Bond from the beginning.
Yeah.
Speaking of annoying characters, do you remember? And I think it was Quantum. He had like a partner with him when he was making a deal.
It's been too long.
I think it was David Harbour.
It's been too long.
And he was just you talk about a goofy character,
right?
This guy had a big mustache. It was like, he was just a really
again
character.
The Russian scientist in this one. I guess you'll have to go back and see the film again, because another trip
I'm
to the
sure
theater.
it's just a block.
Yeah, probably. But overall, I was satisfied with it, and now I start to think, the big question, of course, is
who takes over?
Who's going to start drinking those martinis again?
You got any thoughts?
No, I mean, there's been a lot of discussion for quite a while now, right? I mean, it was, gender is a part of that discussion, and race, and it's all over the place. So I have no idea. I mean,
right? Is the next Bond going to be, like this? I think this one, because of I don't want to give it away, but we were hearing that a lot of people were saying, oh, Moneypenny's going to take over as Bond, and she's going to be the new 007.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a black woman. And that plays into this and a little bit of the story, but
right.
I don't think they would change the makeup of a character like Bond.
I don't know.
I mean, it's got to be a British guy. It's got to be, even though isn't Pierce Irish? I think he's Irish.
Yeah, something. Yeah, maybe Irish, I guess. Brosnan, I don't know. But anyways, yeah. So that's probably the on the forefront of my mind. Is just who's going to assume the role. When will we get that announcement? When will production start on the next one? Is there already a story being written?
You would think that it'd already be in production probably if this was normal times,
right?
Because that movie was made almost 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So we'd probably know the answer to that, but
now
I have no clues.
No, I don't either.
I can't think of an actor that could take that on.
No,
as soon as we knew Daniel Craig, and Daniel Craig wasn't really well known,
right?
At the time of this, he did a Guy Ritchie film that was really done. He did a couple of movies, and I knew him, and even I was like, I don't know.
Yeah,
and then as soon as
I think we do that all the time. It's like, I'm not sure, and then
and then they pull it off.
Fortunate that they pull it off. Yeah,
yeah.
So yeah, we'll see where it goes, but that's a big question mark right now. So we'll have to see. But anything else about No Time to Die while we're still talking about that?
I think, like you said, it was a unique finish to a Bond film. It was a unique, because we've never really known a new Bond was coming at the end of a Bond. In fact, there's always I used to always remember watching you and I forever would sit and watch the
credits,
the credits scroll.
Right.
And at the very end, would usually get the name James Bond will return in, and they'd give the name of the next, because, there's only so many books written by Ian Fleming.
Right.
So I went back when I was watching Spectre, and sure enough, they added in the DVD, it's scrolling and it just says James Bond will return. It doesn't say the title or anything.
Okay.
But
well, what about you said you've got a video pick this week.
I do. I have a couple.
What are you recommending? Okay.
And the first one, I'm hoping you'll recognize. I've got an old one and a new one. Classic sci-fi. I hope you'll recognize this one.
The Incredible Shrinking Man. Yeah, I recognize it. Yeah.
Because I'm watching the extras the other night, and Dana Gould. Do you remember him?
Dana Gould. Yeah,
comedian.
He's got a podcast, I think, too.
Guy from Boston.
Yeah,
and he does an interview with another guy, and they're talking about the movie, and he says, "I remember watching that when I was a kid in Boston on, the monster. What was it called?
Oh, right.
Yeah. The monster
I mentioned
double header or something.
Right. The creature double feature.
That's
what it was. Yeah.
I'm watching that. And I just kind of chuckled because I know you had just mentioned it.
Yes.
But it's kind of a funny film. It's literally what it says. It's a guy that shrinks down to.
I'm thinking of the opposite. Remember the Colossal Man? Remember that? The guy just keeps growing. Yeah, that was a good
Attack
creature.
of the 50-foot woman.
That was a good creature double feature. Yeah.
But
the best one is War of the Gargantuans, just to make Emily find that out on Google and plop it in here somewhere. That's one of my favorite. It still creeps me out to this day. So, okay, that's the first one. What's the second one?
That's the first one. The new one that just came out. This one's done as much as Bond in the U.S. That'll tell you how much money it's done. And it's really...
Free Guy,
overlooked. Free Guy.
So just so the listeners know, so you had sort of pitched to me, maybe doing a sort of double header, but I'm just like, I ain't got time to throw that in. And I'll be honest, I need a break from Ryan. I like Ryan. I need a break. And that looked like just another, he's just cashing checks lately. Everything he does is some variation of Deadpool. To me.
Yeah.
And I'm sort of done with that. Let's see him in some really good dramatic role.
Well, he can do it. He's done a couple of
that's
movies.
not, I saw the trailer for his next one with The Rock. Same thing.
That's right.
Same
that's coming
template.
out. Red Notice, is it?
Something. Yeah. Same template. It's just enough already.
Well, I think what's bothering you, what bothers a lot of people is the snarky sarcasm.
No, that's one of the things I like about him.
Well,
we talked about this. We talked about this in Dune with Zendaya, and that's not even a fair comparison to her.
Yeah,
but,
how do you?
Well, because we talked about oversaturation, right?
Oh,
and they blow up, and then they put him in everything because they didn't want to strike while the iron's hot, and these big bankable stars, and so they want them in every single project that's out there.
But I think this is different enough. If you watch it, if you want the digital copy, I'll give it to you. Of course. And
never turn away a digital copy.
It's really actually quite funny, and it's different. It's not what I thought it was from the previews.
Yeah. And maybe shame on, it's another one where the trailer maybe didn't do it justice. Yeah.
I don't think the trailer did. I think you'll like it. Ironically, somebody the Rexter Show asked us to review this way back, and I think we'd mentioned it, but we had a lot of movies kind of in the pipeline, and we didn't get to it. So I wanted to make it a video
recommendation. Okay,
and it's really funny. It's different.
It's good you had two, because I had Goose Egg. This week
I brought two because I figured you'd be.
Yeah, well, have I recommended Open Range by Kevin Costner? Have I?
I think so. And you even got Emily to give you a video clip.
That's right. But although this is a good time to recommend Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, which you just hooked me up with that digital copy, because it's that time of year, and that's just one of our favorite films.
This month we will watch that.
Yeah. All right. Well,
what we need to do is we've never done this. You and I, we need to do a video watch together. And
we talked about it. Yeah, we talked about it.
So this year, maybe Thanksgiving, we should do a Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yeah, we'll have to do. Yeah, that would be cool. I would definitely enjoy that. So, well, listen, hey, if you are not currently following us, again, make sure that you head out to the official Oh Brother website, which is ohbasandbrotherpodcast.com. It's ohbpodcast.com. Check us out there. All the Oh Brother goings on, and you can even check out the Oh Brother shop out there if you want to pick up some of our Oh Brother merch.
And like us on on YouTube, please.
Just like us, folks. Just like us. That's all we ask.
That's all we ask.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've
Pretty
got
simple.
no time left to talk. So let's wrap up this episode of the Oh Brother podcast. I've been your host, Dan Smith. Alongside me, as always, my brother from the same mother, Mike Smith. And we will see you next time.